Hey guys, it's Lillian from the Book Coven podcast, and today I'm going to be talking to you about The Babysitter, My Summers with a Serial Killer by Liza Rodman, and it will be here. This one is a new true crime book that I read for our True Crime Month, and I loved this story. So the serial killer in this story is called Tony Costa. He killed, I think, 5 or 6 women in the 70s or 60s, somewhere abouts there, in a coastal town. Again, I forget the name of the town. The facts left me. But it's a coastal town, so it's good for summer because it's murder on the beach. It's fun. It's flashy. It's everything I needed. I was reading it poolside, loved the vibe of it. So the serial killer in this one, he's a fascinating study because his family, usually with serial killers, they have, abuse in their family, crazy, awful stuff like that. This guy, he did later on in his teen years have, he was sexually assaulted. So there is that trauma that could have led to his issues. But family-wise, he didn't have abusive parents. His mom and his home life, it all seemed fine, lovely, nothing off there. So what happened exactly to this guy? Was it the assault? Was it something else? Who knows? I think it was a combo of the PTSD from his assault and also his drug use. Because when he hit his teens, he fell hard into drugs. Drugs that were given to him for his psychological issues, but they were, because it was the 60s, they weren't like, approved good drugs. They were bad stuff, really. And they weren't even like, he had minor depression. They had him on drugs that were for psychosis, intense drugs, and he was doing them like they were candy. So he went off the rails really fast. He's such a disturbed man. He's the kind of serial killer that would mutilate the corpses after and just do stuff with their parts. He's fucked up. And the author actually has a connection with the killer, which was what drew me into the story. When she was a kid, he worked in the motel that her mom worked at. And he was her babysitter for a few summers. And she actually... what she remembers as a kid was a sweet, charming guy who took care of her, who liked her, was kind to her, and really, he was the only one that treated her with respect at the time because she had a really troubling relationship with her mother when she was a kid. So she went to this guy who was the only one who treated her like a person. But he was a sick and twisted serial killer, so it's really messed up. And at the end of the story, she talks about what started this. She had a memory from when she was a kid where she remembered being in the forest with him and she was terrified. It just felt really wrong to her. And that is what sparked her as an adult to look him up because she had no idea that he was a serial killer until she was an adult. And she doesn't remember if she has a memory of like, if he touched her, if she saw one of his victims, like there was something in the forest that triggered something in her, but she has no memory of it. So it's really twisted and fucked up, and she's kind of exploring that. And it was really interesting to see how, like, she saw this man who was disturbed on so many levels, but to her, as a kid, he was the nicest man she knew. And he was also probably grooming her. So, like, the whole relationship was really fucked up. And I loved getting her. It went from her story to Tony's story. And just, there were 2 completely different things, but they connected in the weirdest ways. And it was so much fun to read. Highly recommend. Fun summer murder tale. Sick, gruesome serial killer stuff. Check it out. Bye.